Axel. I'm back at it again with another interview. This time I have a returning guest, Ethiopia's fastest man, Nathan. So, Nate, I will give you a word and please introduce yourself. Who are you and what do you do?
Hi guys, my name is Nathan Itayo. I'm an Ethiopian 100 and 200 meter sprinter. Yeah, that's about it.
So, obviously, the question is, how did you got to having this passion of running fast?
Yeah,
How did you got
sprinting.
to it, right? So, what were your first steps in sports? Perhaps is the fastest man, so to say, in the world is decided by who's the fastest 100-meter sprinter, right? But
Yeah.
that's the sport of track and field. Perhaps prior to track and field, there were other sports that you did. And what were those sports, perhaps? And what was your path to sports prior getting involved to sports?
So I've always been a fan of football. I've always been playing football since I was around 8, 9. I've always loved football, and in football, I used to run a lot. I used to run really fast. And once a friend asked me to take part in a race with some other guy in school. Then I agreed, and what do you know? I won. And that guy supposedly called himself the fastest guy in the school. And then my friend again asked me to compete in this track meet. So I said, okay, let me try it, and went on there. And a couple of years later, I was addicted to it. I found out it was my passion.
Is there a feeling that you try to catch when you do the sprints, or is there something that you strive for, like from a adrenaline aspect or emotionally? What are your cravings towards the sports, or do you
Cravings,
have?
just being faster than the other guy. That's about it. If you're faster than the other guy, well, that's my feel actually.
How would you describe the feeling of being fast? Do you have like electricity flowing through your body when you're fast, or because
Well,
like I would presume that there are days that you don't feel as fast, and there are days when you feel
of
great,
course.
right? There are those
Yep.
opposite spectrums. How would you describe the feeling of being fast?
Actually, this a description of being fast, how I feel at the track. That's what you mean.
Sure, yeah.
So I think every athlete or every person who runs fast knows there's a feeling that you get when you're at top speed
Right.
or running in top at top speed. And I don't know how to describe it because the wind is running in, especially if the wind is coming in your face, all you're hearing is blank. You don't hear anybody cheering for you. You're just focusing on running forward. And that's actually the bliss for me. That's what feels to me, like I said, at top speed and beating the other guy, watching him run beside you and then disappear. That's what that's what it's all about.
Tell me about this. How important for you is the result, the time result, what you achieve, versus the aspect of the place, right? Let's say you achieve a personal best of a certain distance, whether it be 200 or 100-meter distance, but on the other hand, you finished in not so very good position. Let's say you maybe not even finished in the finals or something like that. How do you see both of those aspects? What would you put as a more valuable thing? The faster time or the better place, but not as much as fast of a time?
So at this point in my career, I really value improvement above ranking because as long as you're improving, the rank will come. That's that's what my that's what my belief is based upon. As long as you're improving your time little by little, the ranking will come. So I prioritize your improvement or my improvement against ranking.
How did you discover and stick with the sport? Because perhaps there were some doubts for you. You were not maybe as um, keen to it, being like, okay, track and field, that's my thing, and I will stick to it? Or maybe there were some doubts in your head. Maybe you wanted to leave the sport, or there were some other attractions to you. Tell me that journey. How did you stuck to athletics?
So, as you know, football is a team sports, right?
Right.
And track and field is like, well, you have a team, you have your coach, you have your people, you have your agents, you have a team around you, but on the track, it's all on you. Well, when football comes to, it's about the team, right? It's like about building a team, working together to achieve a goal. And while I don't know, at that point in my life when I was playing football, I was young, and always saw people they were playing for fun, and they never took it as a passion or something like that. So I've never I think that's why I never got into football that much, because all the people around me were my passion compared to them were on a different level. I have never met a person with the same passion level as me in football.
Do you feel like
So
you were more passionate about it and more serious
I
about it?
was, yes, I was. But like I said, it was not in a level of the passion I had for sprinting at the same time at that time. I had the passion, and the people around me were they were not as passionate about the sport as I was. And like I said, it's a team sport, and you need a team to perform well. It's not just about you; it's about the team. And I think that's one of the reasons that um, dissuaded me from uh, football. That like my passion was like readily declining, and then I found track and field, and then I stuck with it.
Ethiopia is known for the long distance runners in the global spectrum of sports. Uh, why didn't you pick up that? And for example, one of actually my sporting, sort of say, inspirations, one of my biggest inspirations in sports in general, um, comes from an Ethiopian athlete, Kenenisa Bekele. Why didn't you decide to like try your talents in the long distance? And are you someone that tries to go against the, sort of say, against the
What do you
odds?
mean against it?
Yeah,
I mean, what do you mean against it? Like,
against the odds. Like, let's say,
oh yeah,
like
definitely,
for
yeah,
example, like the people from Ethiopia are more keen to long distance running, and sprinting is not as popularized over there, and
yep,
is not
definitely.
pushed forward and developed to that level of other sprint national countries like the United States, Jamaica, Bahamas. You know, those are the prominently dominant countries in the global spectrum. How did you decided not to try track and field on the long distance aspect, but just the sprints?
Well, it actually never come to my mind about running long distances. It was always about short bursts. And every time I did track with the Ethiopian guys, all of them are trying to, well, they ran like a year or two in short distance, like the 100, 200, and then switch to the middle distances, like the 8 and 1500. That's what that's what they do usually. And I'm against that thought. Like they have this base of they have this belief that they can't really succeed in short distances because nobody has done it before. And you see, when I hear about that, it makes me do it even more. I think I think that's one of the reasons I do it. One of the reasons that motivates me even more, because nobody has done it before, and everybody is saying, "Come on, switch to long distances. That's the best option." And I'm sticking with my guts and saying, "No, this is better. This is what I want." And I think every time they say that, it motivates me to do even more.
Can you talk about some of the sporting legends over there? Heliese Gabriela, Kenenisa Bekele, have those people been like some sort of a inspiration for you at all, or how are they perceived like over there in Ethiopia? Because you're a native, you can perhaps paint a
I can say,
better
yeah.
picture for me. How is it over there? How are those athletes perceived?
Well, um, Anissa Bakala, like you said, is one of the greatest long distance runners ever. I think he still has the 10,000 meter record, right? I think so.
Kenenisa Bekele, I believe so. It could be, yeah. Yeah. I don't have the record
So,
open right now, but he, at some point, he did hold both the 5,000 and 10,000 meter record. Yeah.
so the thing about Kanisa Bakala was he came and I think it was in 2004.
Yeah.
I think it was 2004, right? He broke
Yeah.
the
Yeah. Yeah.
record. So he performed absolutely magnificently in 2004. And then I think so that was his peak, or maybe he couldn't hold it at that level because he couldn't perform at the same level multiple times, like for a number of years. Like let's say Usain performed from 2008 to 2016 flawlessly, right? That's a period of 8 years at his peak, right? So the he would I think this is my belief. The second time you do something really well is like it's not chance that you achieved something. You achieved that thing because it's not because of chance. The second time you do it, and I
Not
think
based on luck, what you try to say, right?
yeah, yeah, it's not based on luck. The second time you do, the first time it might be on luck. You never know, but the second time you do it, it's not luck. It's an achievement. So I don't really see Kanisa Bakala as an idol or as a motivator for me because he did not perform at his best for a long particular time or repeatedly per se. Haile Gebrselassie, I think he's one of the greatest athletes in Ethiopia because he wasn't particularly talented compared to all his other peers. He outworked them. That's the only thing he did. He showed up every day. He did very well in training. He was very motivated. Although he didn't although there were guys with him that were more talented than him. And I think he is for me as an Ethiopian, he's my one of my motivators or
Idols.
I yeah.
Can you give me a perspective of how they were perceived over there in Ethiopia around the people that's you gave a personal view, but how were they perceived over there in Ethiopia?
When are you talking about? When are you talking about the like their competition years or now?
Both,
The time
both.
we
Give me a
okay.
perspective at the competition time when they competed at their
So at the competition time, I was really young.
they
I
were
was
active
about
later on.
eight at the time. I know when they came back from Athens in 2004, there was a big celebration for them. That's what I remember about them. And to this day, we almost usually see Haile Gebrselassie on the TV. Almost always, he's always on TV. He's doing interviews. He's also a businessman right now.
Mm.
Has a lot of businesses in Ethiopia, and we usually see him on TV like very frequently. And that's about how much I can tell you about them because the time they were at their peak, at their performance peak, I was really young. I'm just watching TVs like how it was back then. How did they perform? What did they do? What did they train about? And that's basically how what I can tell you about that. And also, do you know Tirunesh Dibawa? Have you heard of her?
I don't think so. Maybe I have heard, but like right now it doesn't ring a bell.
So she's a long distance runner too, and she's also one of my idols because she there was I saw a documentary about her, and she was really young. This was in the 1990s, and it showed how she came from nowhere, how she trained hard, she worked hard, and she got to the Olympics and won, eventually won. And she also is one of my idols per se.
Back to like specifically on the feeling in the nation over there. I know you were young at that point, but perhaps you can describe, were there a feeling of proud, of being
Oh yeah,
very proud
definitely.
of those guys
Because
and girl as well, of those athletes, that came from the Olympics? How were they perceived over there in Ethiopia and all around there? Because you say he's on Haile Gebrselassie is now on TV and all that, but is there a sense of pride in them? Because is Ethiopia very proud of them? Would you say so?
oh yeah, they are very proud of them, especially Haile and Kenenisa. They are very proud of them because if you remember, I think they took 1, 2, 3 in the 10,000 meters in 2004. Or I might be wrong on that, or maybe on the 5,000. And seeing those three flags up there for the world to see, that was a big thing. Ethiopians were very proud of that at that moment. Very proud.
All right. Then I want to talk about like your other inspirations in sports. I know it's one of them is Usain Bolt, who actually kind
Oh
of
yeah.
gave you the spark to sprint. Maybe there are other sprinters, so please feel free to educate me about this. Who are your inspirations
Sprinters who
in
motivate me,
sports? Not only sprinters, any other athletes or
athletes.
any other people in your life that have inspired you or guided you towards the vision that you have now.
Well, like 80%, 90% of that is basically Usain Bolt. I've seen almost every documentary he has, and I'm a big fan of his. And other athletes and people that motivate me, Tyson Gay, he's really fast, especially. And I remember the time in 2000, I think it was 6 or 7. I think it was 6.
What
Usain was running Tyson Gay, and I think it was the Caribbean or some country around around North America. Anyways, so Usain, I think Usain got second in that 200-meter race, and Tyson Gay got first.
Actually,
And
no. Sorry, I will correct you. So it was in Osaka, actually. It was in Japan. It was the World
man,
Championships in 2007 when Tyson Gay was first and Usain Bolt was second. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
the
think that's
200,
in the 200, yeah. In 2007. You're referencing
2007, right?
yeah.
Did Usain broke the record on 2007, the
No,
100-meter record?
broke the record in the world record he broke in 2009. But in 2007, he competed in Osaka, where Tyson Gay was first and Usain Bolt was second. The World Championships in Japan. It was 2007. It was not.
That was the 200 meters, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
So how about the 100 meters? Were there a 100-meter race?
Usain Bolt did not compete in 100 meters at that point.
Okay. Okay.
Usain
It might be in
Usain Bolt
2006.
started to compete like in 2008 preseason, like not preseason, but prior to the Olympics. He actually broke the record. I think it was perhaps in New York or something like that. He broke the record, and then he
Oh yeah,
was
that's the
eligible.
race I'm talking about. Yeah.
He was eligible then to because like his coach said he would be his coach said he would be too big to compete in the 100 meters. So
Oh yeah.
like kind of talked his coach into competing in the 100 meter, and then he broke the world record, right? I think by three 0.03 seconds, something like that.
Okay.
Asafa Powell at that point actually was a record holder, also.
Older.
and then Usain Bolt broke the record. And then going into the Olympics, there were three contenders for the Olympic gold medal. It was Tyson Gay, who was actually the previous world champion, Asaf Powell, who was just the world record holder, but was not the world champion, and then Usain Bolt, who just recently broke the world record. So going into the 2009 Olympics, that was the basically medal contender, gold medal contender field. So yeah, just to give a precise picture.
Awesome. You
I
cleared that
remember
up well.
from that point. Yeah, yeah,
So I was talking about the race, the 200-meter race, the Usain Bolt lost in.
yeah.
Um,
That was in
he was running
2007.
Tyson Gay. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think that was in Osaka. Is that what you said?
Yep, yep, yep.
Yeah. So Usain Bolt prior to that, if you remember, was he was injured in the 2014. I'm sorry, 2004 Athens Olympics,
Yes,
and he
those
didn't.
are actually his first Olympics, right? No one actually knows about them. Almost, it's like the
Yeah,
a
that
hit,
was his first Olympics.
yeah, it's a hidden part of his journey, right?
Yeah, they don't show his failures because he had to work really hard from the 2004 to 2007. He had to work really hard to get to that point to break those records. And yeah, like you said, nobody really knows about those failures and those uh, obstacles, challenges.
Talk about more about your inspirations in life and sports. Who have inspired you? Not only athletes, but people around you. I don't know, people that you've seen online or throughout the television or someone like that. Who have you read in books about? So who has inspired you?
Inspired me to do what I do. Okay, so basically, I just saw a documentary about Michael Jordan. Have you seen it? It's called The Last Dance. It's on
Sure.
Netflix. And Michael Jordan was I didn't know Jordan was well, they described him really well. They showed what his character was, what he did, how he played, how he interacted with his teammates. And this actually he actually after I've seen um this documentary, he actually motivates me even more than before because of how his character was depicted. I mean, not character, his self,
Yeah.
how he was seen on the documentary. And he, if you've seen him, this is what I took from that documentary.
All
He
right.
always does what he loves. So he took everything else out. He took his sponsorship deals, teammates out, and he tried to do. Uh, he tried to focus on his game. That's all he did. Like he played the best he could every time he was on the court, and sometimes he didn't perform well, and that's okay. He gave it his all every time, but he would always bounce back if he's seen the documentary. And now I have even more respect for him for seeing what he has done. And also what I was talking about Usain Bolt in the 2007 World Championships. Before that moment, if you've seen Usain Bolt's prior races, he almost frequently lost to guys in the 100, in the 200 especially. He lost, I think, 2 times, 3 times to Tyson Gay before that race, before the Olympics. I'm sorry. So the ability to bounce back, the resilience. That's what I took from these two guys. That's what motivates me a lot from these two people, icons.
Right. I mean, to to me personally, the Michael Jordan documentary, honestly, it
What
might
did you?
it might sound crazy, but I actually expected a bit more because
A bit more of what?
um, A bit more. I expected a bit more because honestly, Michael Jordan uh, probably is the third on the list of people that I know most in this life. Like, first of all, I know most of about myself. Then I now know a lot about Kobe Bryant. I read all of the possible articles and
Yeah.
listened to all the interviews. And then Michael Jordan comes third in the list, right after that. So I already knew a lot of things, and I hope that that documentary would give me a lot more.
Even more.
Yeah, because
Uh,
I knew a lot of it already before that.
yeah, you liked basketball. You knew, so
Yeah,
you
so I
really like.
actually knew it, but still, I see the resonance of a lot of people. They say it was great, and a lot of people like it, and still people that actually were around that time, like Charles Barkley, they think it was greatly put up. But I feel like I missed something. I feel like I have to rewatch it, and perhaps I will see details that I missed. But I wanted to see more. I wanted to see more. And honestly, if you look at it, it's the same way that Michael was, right? He got 6 championships, but still at the end, right? He was still, we could have got 7. What if? What if? Right? What if we could have gone?
Yeah,
So there's always this
yeah,
effort to, even if you're good, you want to get even more, perhaps. And there's this burden of fire in you that doesn't kind of. It's difficult to put it aside. But perhaps are there some things like your hobbies or something that helps you ease up, helps you rest and recover and relax? Tell me about that.
hmm.
Is there something that helps you relax and then kind of recover from the workouts and
Uh,
stay eased?
so I love watching Top Gear or the Grand Tour. If you Top Gear UK, the Jeremy Clarkson, James May, and Richard Hammond. I love watching those guys fool around. So I usually that's what I do after training. I just come home, lie on the sofa or bed, and then watch Top Gear or the Grand Tour. That's what I usually do. If and usually I'm tired, so halfway through the episode, I'm asleep. So that's what I usually do.
So, but I know that you like cars, right? So, what is so special for you about cars? What,
Cars.
yeah, what excites you in cars, right? Because last time, like, we had a conversation somewhat, and I asked you about Formula One. Why don't you like Formula One, for example? Because you're not a fan of Formula One, but Formula One is
Yeah, because
sports
I've
fans,
never
car fans like Formula One.
watching Formula One never gave me the exhilaration or the fizz, the that joy that gives you that happiness or that I don't know. It never gave me that uh, feeling because I don't actually know how to race or if I mean if you've seen any races and if you're like have been racing or tried racing a couple of times, you know how hard it is to corner that fast or to to react that fast. You know how it feels, but I have no understanding of that. And maybe if I start racing cars, I would probably get into it, but not right now. I'm mostly now. I really enjoy watching drag races. Just power, straight on power and traction.
All right. But actually, you know what? I feel
Yeah.
like when you will change a phase in your life, I think you
Uh-huh.
may find something intriguing in Formula One. Just
Yeah.
don't put it
I
away.
think I'm probably gonna have track days
Yeah. Because
my
let
future.
me tell you this, it's not about only about the racing, but it's also about the strategy. because I had a friend.
Strategy in
Yeah,
how? What do
he's
you mean
an
about the
NBA.
strategy?
Yeah, he's an NBA fan, man, and he always wants to talk about NBA, talk about NBA, but he actually haven't played basketball himself. So a lot of times
Oh wow.
I have to educate him about, this is that and this is better and this is, this makes sense and all that. And then I have to like be a teacher to him a lot of times. And I particularly do not enjoy those conversations too much if he wants to actually be just a fan. And that's why I want to kind of introduce him to a new sport for him, Formula One. And what I tell him is about like, look at this. Basketball is like reading a tabloid, a advertisement on a tabloid, right? It's like,
You mean playing basketball?
yeah, like being a
Okay.
fan of basketball is just watching the tabloid. But being a fan of
Okay.
Formula One, it's like reading a book because you have to understand the strategy that, everything is involved in
Okay.
garage and all that. And then the race itself and the events. And then, as the Americans say, the elements come in play, rain and stuff like that. So it's very interesting.
That
So
makes sense.
just, if you're interested into it, just one day you may enjoy it a lot. So maybe those days will come to you later, but just keep an open mind, what I'm
Hopefully.
trying to say.
Oh, I will, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to also talk about, what do you feel is success for you? What do you feel is success for you? Because success is a somewhat abstract thing. For an artist, it may mean something else. For an athlete in that kind of particular sport, may something else. For example, athletes that are in Olympic sports, they, for example, have the highest achievements in the Olympics. But some sports are not in the Olympics at all. So those goals do not apply for them. So what is success for you?
Well, success. How I define success.
Yeah.
So, so you basically set goals for yourself, right? So you set short-term goals, long-term goals, and basically having satisfied those goals, are you happy? Are you joyful? Are you happy with what you did over the past? Well, after you've reached your destination, was it all about the destination, or was it about the journey? So I usually think the journey is as important as the destination, because if you're at your destination and it's not what you thought all those years it would be, then what happens? You're not happy. You're not satisfied. And for me, success is reaching your destination and being happy about it. That's that's actually how I define it
What do you feel like is your biggest achievement in
right
life?
now.
In life.
Well, being the Ethiopian champion in the 100 and 200, that's basically it for now. Like I have big goals, and hopefully I'll achieve them. Mm, That's about it.
All right. What do you feel like is the most important thing in life?
So family, that's it. After family, well, health comes first, family, and then everything else.
All right.
That's basically
Yeah.
it.
So now let's get a bit abstract, okay? So let's,
Philosophical, like you
yeah,
said.
philosophical a bit more.
Okay.
Already we got to into it a bit, but um, let's time travel, sort of say. And if you had the opportunity to time travel, meet yourself at a certain age, and you may be able to tell yourself something or live along yourself for quite some while and teach something to yourself, to what point you would go back to and what would you do?
So I've always been I've always been stubborn at doing things on my own. That's basically one of my limitations I had, and I had to really face and change. you always need help. That's what have come to realize. You basically can't do it on your own. That's what I would tell my 16-year-old self. Because if you have mentors, coaches, people who know better than you, coaching you, helping you avoid the pitfalls, traps, you're gonna get there faster. And I was a bit arrogant and a bit naive, thinking I could do it on my own, and that was wrong. Hopefully, I realized it not too far down the road, and that's what basically I would tell myself, 16 as 16-year-old me, not to be arrogant and to be to learn from others, and also to accept that I can't do it on my own.
What would you say then is your greatest teacher to this point?
Greatest teacher, well, experience actually, because trying trial and error. That's actually the best teacher. People can tell you this and that, and maybe you accept or maybe not. Science tells you this, you follow it or not, but nothing comes close to finding things out for yourself. I think that's how it is. Experience is the best teacher.
I will give you an opportunity to gain a new experience.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not quite, but
Okay.
I want to know this from you. If you had the opportunity to ask a question to someone, who would you ask to? And what would be the question?
Yeah. I like I said, this question maybe needs like a week to answer, like a week to think about, and like really,
All right.
really time to answer. Maybe you can like drop it in the description after I think about it. And
Yeah. Okay. Then I have a extra question along this question. Why though? Why do you have this struggle to answer to this question? What comes in
I
your
don't
mind
know,
when I ask this question? Like, give us a
because
thought process. What is going through your mind right now? Why do you have this struggle?
there's so many people. Like there's no single question I want to ask people, or
So you
like
don't want to
they're all
miss the opportunity to ask the right question to the right person, right? And it's hard to
yes.
pick one, right?
Yes, that's exactly what it is. Because
Okay.
you only have one chance, and if you ruin it by okay, let me think. You have like a minute to think about it and regret it afterwards. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, you could have asked the question to someone else or something like that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Right. Okay. Or you already knew that, right? Uh, okay,
Yeah.
maybe then I will ease up the level for you. Maybe do you have a question for me?
For you,
Yeah.
um, what I want to know about you is it what type of question?
Whatever
Is
comes in your mind, what would you like to know?
okay. So what's your goals on this project you're doing?
On this
What you've
interview,
never
right? Um,
you've never told, yeah.
yeah. So the goals are to show people that there are many people around us that have valuable experiences and interesting thought processes. Here's the thing: a lot of people sometimes feel bad when they look at other people and they feel like there's something that they don't have. As they say, people many times feel like the grass is greener on the other side, right? The neighbor's grass is,
Yeah.
or the sky was bluer back in the days. But with all these interviews, I try to give a different perspective from different people's view and actually show how do they feel, how do they think, and what I have actually come in common. And I feel that's a underlining value because it goes almost through everybody's life. There's a make or break point. Either there has been an experience that will make you who you become or break you and lead you to a down spiral experience. So I want to give people a experience that will develop that sense of understanding that if you have something difficult in your life right now, understand that other people have gone through trials and errors as well and have gone through it and have reached success. So with these stories, I'm showing the path of others. So that's the goal of educating, making people think, and just making this world perhaps a better place. So that's the goal.
Big goals, big goals.
Yeah.
That's a big motivator. Like if your goals are um, set goals that if you achieve them would blow your mind. That's one of the quotes I usually uh, oh that's always in my mind. And the thing you said about people about an experience making you succeed or breaking you. Do you think this experience comes once in a career, or like does it comes once in a lifetime? Is it like uh, the last frontier? Like
Yeah, I understand. Like the make or break point. Does it comes once in a lifetime? What you're saying, right?
yeah, does it? Is that what you think about? Like, or is it like many experiences
Hmm.
that's gonna
Yeah,
build you?
I understand your question. So honestly, I feel like there are many of them.
Mm-hmm.
One may be in your lifetime. For example, I know a guy that actually had a very serious back injury, and um, honestly, I feel like many people around that time that were around him in his position, if they were with that injury, if they would have been in his position, I feel like they would have quit. But this guy, he didn't quit, and now 7 years later, he became the world champion in a particular sport, right? Um, so, and I know a different guy, and I heard this story, and this person I do not know personally, but he became a silver medalist in a particular sport in Olympics, and that was like his high. But he enjoyed the high, but there was a point where he broke again, and now he's not in a such a high lifestyle, or he doesn't have such a privileged lifestyle anymore. And I feel like there was a point of glory, but that was not the challenging point. So I feel like there may be a point where you reach your high, but afterwards you just will receive many testing points again and again and again. And each of those testing points may give you a grade, a passing grade or not non-passing grade. And what does a non-passing grade means? You know, it depends. It depends. So life is a test, and you have good grades. That's all I can say. So there are many tests, and to that point, I would say there are many points like that. But not every single thing is like that. But many points are make or break points. You know, I would say this virus time, right? Coronavirus time is probably a make or break point for many people. But for example, for me, it was a make or break point, and I made myself starting doing these interviews more seriously, right? But
Yeah.
meantime, right, I had my athletic career, my academical career, my job career, all of those points as well. I had make or break points as well there, and doesn't mean that I only had one make or break point in my lifetime. And throughout those careers as well, there were many points. So I think there are many points like that. And just to repeat myself, life is a test, and there are many tests, and just have good grades.
Mhm. Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Any more questions? Or
No, actually, a invitation for you to give a encouraging words or something to live upon from your side. What would you say? Some words of
or
encouragement
athletes or various types of people or any types of people?
for
Is that what you're
anybody that may watch this.
okay? So do what you love, and Um, don't let anybody stop you. That's basically it.
All right. All right. Thank you for the interview, Nate. I wish you all the best and see you when I see you, man.
All right. See you, Axel.
Thank you for watching this interview with Ethiopia's fastest man and a returning guest to AXEL Industries. But if you want to learn more about AXEL Industries and AXEL Industries interviews, just click on the pictures that are above on the screen right now and watch some of the interviews and playlists. Thank you for watching and all the best to you.